Swastiastu. Hello friends, punapi gatrek, dumogi, becik-becik nggih. Today we are going to learn about Balinese Language Part 2. For today we are going to learn about numbers 1 until 20. The first one is 1. 1 in Balinese language is se. Or you can also say besik. Besik. So, if you want to say 1 in Balinese language, you can say se or besik. The next one is 2. 2 in Balinese language is dua. Dua. Be careful in here. We don't say dua, but we say dua. So, if you want to say 2 in Balinese language, you can say dua. The next is 3. 3 in Balinese language is telu. Telu. So, if you want to say 3 in Balinese language, you can say telu. The next one is 4. 4 in Balinese language is papa. Papa. So, if you want to say 4 in Balinese language, you can say papat. The next is 5. Usually, 5 in Balinese language is lima. Lima. It's still the same as number 2. We don't say lima, but we say lima. So, if you want to say 5 in Balinese language, you can say lima. The next is 6. 6 in Balinese language is nanam. Nanam. So, if you want to say 6 in Balinese language, you can say nanam. The next is 7. 7 in Balinese language is pitu. Pitu. So, if you want to say 7 in Balinese language, you can say pitu. The next one is 8. 8 in Balinese language is kutus. Kutus. So, if you want to say 8 in Balinese language, you can say kutus. The next is 9. 9 in Balinese language is sia. Sia. So, if you want to say 9 in Balinese language, you can say sia. The next is 10. 10 in Balinese language is dasa. Dasa. Be careful in here. We don't say dasa, but we say it dasa. So, if you want to say 10 in Balinese language, you can say dasa. The next is 11. Usually, 11 in Balinese language is solas. Solas. So, if you want to say 11 in Balinese language, you can say solas. The next is 12. 12 in Balinese language is roras. Roras. So, if you want to say 12 in Balinese language, you can say roras. The next is 13. 13 in Balinese language is telulas. Telulas. So, if you want to say 13 in Balinese language, you can say telulas. Next is 14. 14 in Balinese language is 14. 14. So, if you want to say 14 in Balinese language, you can say 14. Next is 15. 15 in Balinese language is limolas. Limolas. So, if you want to say 15 in Balinese language, you can say limolas. The next is Balinese language is 16. 16. So, if you want to say 16 in Balinese language, you can say 16. The next is 17. 17 in Balinese language is 17. 17. So, if you want to say 17 in Balinese language, you can say 17. The next is 18. Usually, 18 in Balinese language is Lekutus. Lekutus. So, if you want to say 18 in Balinese language, you can say Lekutus. The next is 19. 19 in Balinese language is 19. 19. So, if you want to say 19 in Balinese language, you can say 19. And the last is 20. 20 in Balinese language is 12. 12. It's still the same. We don't say dasa, but we say dasa. So, if you want to say 20 in Balinese language, you can say 12. Okay, friends, that's all for today and see you on the next episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to your friends and family. Matur suksma. Bye!